Hi, Flick here from the Nerd Soapbox, and today we're at the Los Angeles Comic-Con with Nerf Point voice actor Rob Paulsen. Hi, Rob.
Hello, Flick. I know, how about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
You better stop that. I'm just going to smile and laugh uncontrollably for like 5 minutes.
Right ahead, it's my pleasure.
Wow. Okay, how's your con so far, Rob?
My what?
How's your con so far?
Oh, my con so far is great. I am breathing and I'm not in jail, but the day's not over yet. So far, so good.
Okay, okay, fantastic. I can call you Rob, right?
Yes, Rob.
Yeah. You could call me anytime you want to hang out.
Great. Hang out where?
Movies, dinner.
Wait, am I hanging out right now?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God, we don't want that to
tell you we're PG-13.
Yes, exactly. And really, trust me, Pinky really is Pinky. Nerf. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that.
All right. So, just to let you know, we know a remote farm in Lancashire where Mrs. Buckley lives. Every July, peas grow there.
Apparently, you've talked to my friend the Brain.
Yes.
Yes, Maurice LaMarche is, he really is a genius, both as the Brain and in real life. He's a pretty remarkable person.
Wow.
Yeah.
What were some of your favorite cartoons growing up?
I loved Rocky and Bullwinkle. I loved pretty much all the Looney Tunes, Flintstones, Johnny Quest. Yeah, I really, pretty much the usual suspects. But the cool thing is, Flick, that I got to work with a lot of the actors who created those voices. Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I freaked out my own self. I'm a really lucky guy.
That sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
You know, some of my favorite cartoons when I was younger include Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
you have excellent taste in tunes. Wait.
Yakko Warner, okay? One of the Warner siblings, and Pinky, the dim-witted mouse. All right. Where did the voice of Pinky come from? He sounds a little bit British.
Yes, he's quite a bit British. My inspirations, comedically, when I was a youngster, were the Pythons. I loved Monty Python. I loved Peter Sellers. I loved Jonathan Winters, Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, Red Skelton, Johnny Carson. All these people were hugely influential, and a large number of them were British performers, and I just couldn't get enough of it. So some of that seeped into Pinky, and Mr. Spielberg, in his infinite wisdom, decided it was a good idea.
Wow. Okay, speaking of Spielberg, what was it like meeting him? I mean, when you first met Steven Spielberg?
He, firstly, is a delightful fellow, a real gentleman.
Oh, good to hear.
Very deferential, and he treats all of us as if we were all Harrison Ford. He's very respectful. And the thing that's really lovely about meeting a gentleman like Mr. Spielberg is that you see that even people at the very, very top of their game in Hollywood, very wealthy, very famous, incredibly successful, carry themselves with so much grace and dignity and respect for others. So that when someone comes up and has kind of got an attitude about who they are, I got about this much patience with it. Because a person who could behave that way and get away with it doesn't. So I'll tell you what, if you ever see actors who are kind of a pain in the ass, just get them off your show, because you don't need to put up with that bullshit.
All right.
Mr. Spielberg is, and it's not just him. There are a lot of folks who are. Mr. LaMarche, people like that, they're all really delightful and utterly devoid of pretense, and that's the way we like it.
Okay, so Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain had some fantastic voice actors on it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so would you tell us a little bit about a couple of the other people you work with, like Frank Welker and Tress MacNeille and maybe Jess Harnell?
Well, Flick, you have picked three of the very best. Tress.
Four, counting you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. This guy gets free tickets to the water tower forever. How about that?
Wow.
Now, if you don't get shot walking up the water tower steps, that's totally different. But no, I've had the good fortune of knowing Tress MacNeille for 40 years.
Oh, okay.
I knew Tress when she was a cocktail waitress in Marina Del Rey, and she is now, as you know, the unchallenged most successful voice actress in the history of Hollywood.
Wow.
Incredible. Also, incredibly kind, incredibly nice, Frank Welker, same thing. Frank is 10 years older to the day than I.
Really?
We have been golf buddies and work buddies for 30 years. Jess Harnell, I met him on Animaniacs, and we've become fast friends. He's kind of like my son Ash's extra uncle.
Wow.
Yeah, man, I have been profoundly fortunate in many ways, not the least of which are the people who have spent their lives with me. I'm a real lucky guy. They're talented, kind, and they're like family.
All right. I have a theory, okay?
Yeah.
About Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
And it comes from this song, all right? That there's Pinky and the Brain. Yes, Pinky and the Brain. One is a genius. The other is insane. All right. Now, I think it doesn't say which one is insane.
Correct.
Okay.
And you, good for you, Flick.
I think
high
that.
Five. Cool,
high
yeah.
four.
All right,
high
four. Sorry, yeah. Good, yeah.
I think that the brain is the one that's
the idiot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Trying to take over the world.
I think you got something there.
Yeah.
And how often has it worked? How many times?
Never. Hello.
0.
Yeah.
So I think you're onto something there.
All right.
But the cool thing about that relationship is it is a deeply loving and respectful one, because ultimately it's about how much these guys love each other, and they really do care. And that's why people want to watch it.
Oh, well, that's why I want to watch it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, could you share with us a piece of your favorite Pinky line, Pinky dialogue?
I'll tell you what. Ask me, Pinky,
Hey.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Okay.
Yes, clear your
trying
voice.
to do a brain here, but it's not coming to me.
Oh, it's
So,
okay.
Pinky, are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Well, I think so, Flick. But if Clint's black and Betty's white, is Marvin gay?
Nerve!
How about that?
I didn't get it.
I just made it up on my own. I'm not as stupid as I look, am I?
Wow. Okay. How long did it take you to memorize all those songs? Or like, did you do that in one take, or
well, you know what?
multiple takes?
You're talking about the countries of the world.
Oh yeah,
song? Yeah, the one that goes United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador, too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil. Yeah, that one. I did do it in one take.
One.
But the genius of that song is the way it was written.
All right.
Randy Rogel wrote that song and many others for Animaniacs, and I did do it in one take, but I also had the music in front of me. But the magic of that, I mean, look, like, this is Hollywood. You can throw a dart and hit a good singer. But you can't throw a dart and hit somebody who can write that shit. And
so
Randy
true.
Rogel really, truly is a genius. And that was the first song I recorded for Animaniacs.
Oh.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, here's another little piece of cool trivia.
Yeah.
Randy Rogel had already won an Emmy for writing on Batman the Animated Series, and he wanted to audition as a songwriter and a composer for Animaniacs, and that song was his audition. That's what he had in his back pocket. How about that? So he's the one with the talent.
Wow.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to sing in character?
You know, well, it depends. There are certain characters where the voice placement makes it a little difficult to have more of a range.
All right.
But it's never really difficult. It's challenging because the whole thing is just a blast. It's so much fun.
Right. Jeez. Okay. And then, how did the Animaniacs live show come about?
Oh, great. That came as a result of my desire to go and do music from Animaniacs, because I knew going to so many conventions that people still loved Animaniacs.
Oh, yeah.
But a big part of that show was the music. And so Randy Rogel and I have a wonderful licensing deal from Warner Brothers.
Nice.
And we get to go and do the music of Animaniacs live around the world, and it's a blast.
Wow.
It's really fun. Thank you for asking.
Okay. But you're going to do more? You're going to more of the live shows?
Oh, sure. In fact, the 9th of November, we're going to be in Houston. And the 11th, we're going to be in Colorado.
All right.
We have a bunch of dates coming up next year. We were just in New York 2 weeks ago. We were in San Francisco 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
We're doing a whole lot of it. It's great fun.
Fantastic. Hope you come back to SoCal soon.
I hope so, too.
All right. Could you share with us maybe an obscure piece of voiceover or voice work that you might have done that fans may not know was you?
Well, I don't know if you guys watch Jimmy Neutron, but I'm Carl, the little chubby guy.
I love Carl.
Well, me too, Flick. You're a smart puppet.
My brain just went.
Oh no, my pinky just went. Oh, sorry.
Oh my God. Oh.
Yeah, so that's the cool part about this gig is that nobody cares what we look like. And I was Carl, and I got to be 2 Ninja Turtles. I was Raphael when you were a little puppet on the original show. And then 25 years later, I got to be Donatello on the most recent version of the show for Nickelodeon. So you're looking at 50% of the Ninja Turtles and one middle-aged guy from Michigan.
What's it like coming back to the, Animaniacs after all this time?
It's pretty remarkable. Mr. Spielberg has decided that it's time to do Animaniacs again. With Warner Brothers and Amblin, and it's going to be on Hulu in the fall of 2020. So a couple of years from now. It's pretty,
if I could cross my fingers now,
I know.
or snap them and make them happen right now, I would do it.
I'm right with you. We're hoping that we're all going to be part of it, and it sounds like it could be really exciting.
More Picking the Brain on that show?
Yep. How about that?
Wow. Okay. And what else are you working on now?
I'm working on the new Ninja Turtles. There's a brand new iteration on Nickelodeon, and I'm the director. So I get to be the voice director with all these wonderful new actors, and that's a pretty remarkable franchise. It's kind of bulletproof after all these years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, geez, Rob, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, Flick. It's a real pleasure.
Wow.
And you know what my favorite song is?
What's your favorite song?
I'm Your Puppet. I'm your puppet.
Oh, wow.
You ever heard that song? Motown song? I'm your puppet. Check it out. Yeah.
What are we doing tonight, Pinky?
The same. Well, I'm supposed to ask you. Hey, Gad, Flick, what are we going to do tomorrow night?
The same thing we do every night, Pinky. Try to take over the world.
Yay! Thank you, Flick.
Can I get a hug?
Oh, of course, I insist. Oh, thank you, buddy.
Aw.
Thank you to your audience, too. Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Bye.
I just had to make sure this was real, because as soon as I had heard you were coming, I couldn't sleep. I was so excited.
Well, thank you, buddy. That's very sweet of you.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.
Take care.
Let's see who else we could find at the Los Angeles Comic-Con.